Unemployment rate, a simple guide. The unemployment rate, it's a number you hear about all the time. But what does it actually mean? Simply put, the unemployment rate tells us the percentage of people who are actively looking for work but can't find a job. It's a snapshot of how healthy, or not, the job market is at any given time. The unemployment rate is calculated by taking the number of unemployed people and dividing it by the total number of people in the labor force. The labor force includes everyone who is employed or actively seeking employment. It's important to note that people who have given up looking for work are not counted as unemployed. They are considered discouraged workers and are not included in the labor force. The unemployment rate is a key indicator of the health of the economy. When the unemployment rate is low, it means that businesses are hiring and the economy is growing. When the unemployment rate is high, it means that businesses are laying off workers and the economy is struggling. Why the unemployment rate matters. The unemployment rate is more than just a number on a chart. It has real-world implications for all of us. When unemployment is high, people lose their jobs, their homes, and their sense of security. It can lead to increased poverty, crime, and social unrest. On a personal level, a high unemployment rate can make it difficult to find a job, negotiate a raise, or switch careers. For businesses, high unemployment can mean decreased consumer spending, lower profits, and even bankruptcy. The government also feels the impact of high unemployment. When more people are out of work, the government collects less in taxes and has to spend more on social programs like unemployment benefits. Decoding the unemployment rate graph. The unemployment rate graph is a visual representation of how the unemployment rate has changed over time. The horizontal axis of the graph represents time, while the vertical axis represents the unemployment rate. By looking at the graph, we can see how the unemployment rate has fluctuated over the years. We can identify periods of economic growth and recession, and we can track the impact of major events like wars, natural disasters, and policy changes. The graph can also help us understand long-term trends in the labor market. For example, we can see that the unemployment rate has generally trended downwards over the past few decades. This is due to a number of factors, including technological advancements, globalization, and increased productivity. The ups and downs of the unemployment rate. The unemployment rate is not static. It fluctuates constantly in response to a variety of factors. Some of the factors that can affect the unemployment rate include economic growth. When the economy is growing, businesses tend to hire more workers, which leads to a lower unemployment rate. Conversely, when the economy is contracting, businesses tend to lay off workers, which leads to a higher unemployment rate. Government policies. Government policies can also affect the unemployment rate. For example, tax cuts can stimulate economic growth and lead to lower unemployment, while increased regulations can stifle growth and lead to higher unemployment. Technological advancements. Technological advancements can lead to both job creation and job displacement. For example, the invention of the automobile led to the creation of millions of new jobs in the auto industry. However, it also led to the displacement of workers in other industries, such as horse-drawn carriage manufacturing. Globalization. Globalization has led to increased competition from foreign companies, which can lead to job losses in certain industries. However, it has also created new opportunities for businesses and workers in other industries. Demographics. Changes in the size and composition of the labor force can also affect the unemployment rate. For example, as the population ages, the labor force participation rate tends to decline, which can lead to a lower unemployment rate. Section 5. The Great Recession, a case study in unemployment. The Great Recession of 2007 to 2009 was a stark reminder of the devastating impact that a severe economic downturn can have on the job market. The unemployment rate, which had been hovering around 5% in the years leading up to the recession, skyrocketed to 10% in 2009. Millions of Americans lost their jobs, their homes, and their savings. The causes of the Great Recession were complex and multifaceted, but they included a housing bubble, excessive risk-taking by financial institutions, and a lack of regulatory oversight. The consequences of the recession were felt worldwide, and it took years for the global economy to recover. Section 6. The COVID-19 pandemic, an unprecedented shock. The COVID-19 pandemic of 2020 to 2023 delivered another major blow to the U.S. job market. The pandemic led to widespread lockdowns, business closures, and a sharp decline in consumer spending. As a result, the unemployment rate surged to nearly 15% in April 2020, the highest level since the Great Depression. The pandemic's impact on the job market was swift and severe. Industries like travel, hospitality, and retail were hit particularly hard. Millions of Americans filed for unemployment benefits, and the government implemented a number of programs to provide financial assistance to individuals and businesses. Section 7. The current state of the U.S. job market. As of July 2024, the U.S. job market is in a state of flux. The unemployment rate has fallen significantly from its pandemic high, but it remains above pre-pandemic levels. The economy has added back millions of jobs, but many businesses are still struggling to find workers. There are a number of factors contributing to the current state of the job market. One factor is the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, which continues to cause uncertainty and disruption. Another factor is the rise of inflation, which is eroding consumer purchasing power and making it more difficult for businesses to make a profit. Section 8. Rising unemployment, a cause for concern. While the unemployment rate has been on a downward trend in recent years, there are concerns that it may be starting to tick upward again. This is due to a number of factors, including rising interest rates. The Federal Reserve has been raising interest rates in an effort to combat inflation. However, higher interest rates can also slow economic growth and lead to job losses. The war in Ukraine has disrupted global supply chains and contributed to higher energy prices. This is putting pressure on businesses to raise prices, which could lead to decreased consumer spending and job losses. The ongoing COVID-19 pandemic continues to pose a risk to the global economy. New variants of the virus could emerge, leading to renewed lockdowns and business closures. These factors suggest that the U.S. job market may be heading for a period of turbulence. It is possible that the unemployment rate could start to rise in the coming months. Section 9. The ripple effect of unemployment. The impact of unemployment extends far beyond the individual. When people are out of work, they have less money to spend, which can lead to a decrease in demand for goods and services. This can force businesses to cut back on production, lay off workers, or even close their doors. This creates a vicious cycle where unemployment leads to more unemployment. High unemployment can also lead to social problems such as increased crime, poverty, and homelessness. It can also put a strain on government resources, as more people become reliant on social safety net programs like unemployment insurance and food stamps. Section 10. What rising unemployment means for the economy. Rising unemployment is a clear sign that the economy is weakening. It suggests that businesses are becoming less confident about the future and are pulling back on hiring or even laying off workers. This can lead to a decrease in consumer spending, as people who are worried about their jobs tend to cut back on their spending. If unemployment continues to rise, it can lead to a recession. A recession is defined as 2 consecutive quarters of negative economic growth. Recessions can be painful, leading to job losses, business closures, and a decline in the overall standard of living. Section 11. Conclusion. Navigating the job market landscape. The unemployment rate is a vital sign of the U.S. economy. It tells us how many people are looking for work but can't find it, and it can give us clues about the overall health of the job market. While the unemployment rate has been on a downward trend in recent years, there are concerns that it may be starting to rise again. It's important to stay informed about the latest trends in the job market and to be prepared for potential challenges. This includes staying up to date on your skills, networking with people in your field, and being willing to adapt to changing circumstances. By being proactive and informed, you can position yourself for success in the ever-evolving job market.